Hey, and welcome back to the Crochet Crowd, as well as my friends over at yarnspirations.com. I'm your host Mikey. Today we're going to do the Tunisian Half Double Cowl, and we've already done the Tunisian Half Double as a stitch itself here at the top of the page. So this is really number 2. This is a real-time project that you can make the cowl that Della has made. All the pictures for Tunisian were created by Della, and all the instructions were written by her as well. So she's using Bernat Pop as her suggestion for this yarn, and there's only 17 chains that are actually making up this, and then once you get all the way down you just have to just put the 2 edges together and then just seal it to make it into a cowl. So because Bernat Pop is constantly changing like a typical Karen Cake would, it's actually looking really quite awesome. So the color changes you see are actually coming right out of the ball. So we are going to do the Tunisian Half Double stitch for this particular one. Let me just get you started, and then I'm going to release the ending to you in order to get finished. So let's do this together. So today our goal is to look like this at the end. You can see that there's no curling involved. It naturally wants to stay straight. They say that about this. This is what the back looks like. You can see it's a beautiful kind of a bumpy area, and it's really not a hard stitch to master. So if you're doing the cowl, all you just need to do is do a whole panel, and then once you have it done you just sew the 2 ends together, and therefore you have a rounded cowl just like you have. So if you're doing the cowl you're going to chain 17 to begin, and then if you just want to learn the stitch just chain as many as you need to, and then I'm going to show you how to do the Tunisian Half Double. So let's begin the Tunisian Half Double. I'm using an Afghan hook. The pattern suggests a 6.5mm Afghan hook. Remember, an Afghan hook has a stopper at the end because you're just working back and forth like a typewriter on your Tunisian hook. Start off with a slip knot, and I want you, if you're gonna do practice, just chain 10, and if you're doing the cowl just chain 17. Either way it's gonna work out. So just chain. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and that's it. So if you're gonna go to 17, that's for the cowl. So once you get that done, then let's begin to work our way across on the forward pass. Okay, so let's begin, and we're going to go second chain from the hook. So just count it back. So 1 and then 2. Get the back bump of the chain, and to do this you're gonna wrap the hook and you're gonna go into that back bump. So second chain, and you're gonna go into that chain and then yarning over and pulling through, and keep all of that onto the hook. And you're gonna do that all the way across your chain. So yarning over, going into the back hump of the next chain, yarning over, pulling through. And so you can see that every stitch is turning into 2 loops as you're going across. Okay, it's that simple. So just yarning over and then going into the next stitch or the next chain. So you could start off differently if you really wanted to, but I think if you're gonna go for this stitch you might as well start it off right away and then not have worry about one row of being something completely different. And then I have one more chain left on here, so yarning over and go through the final chain and then pull through. So now what we're going to do is that we're gonna go this way. Okay, this is the return pass. So we're returning back to my hand that I'm using to move the hook. So to do that you have to chain 1 first. So just yarning over and chaining 1, and I want you to waltz your way all the way back to the very beginning. So when I say waltz, it's 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3, and so all you're just gonna do is that you're going to yarning over and pulling it through 1 2 and 3. Can you do that all the way across? So yarning over 1 2 and 3, yarning over 1 2 and 3, and let me speed up a little bit. So yarning over 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3, and you'll be left with 3 loops on the hook. Just go 1 2 3 and you're done. So the return pass has gone all the way back to the very beginning. So let's go in the forward pass. So this is when the hook is moving in this direction towards the point of the hook. So let's do the forward pass next. To do the forward pass, the first thing that you must do before you get started, and this is why I've had to refilm it twice, is that you're gonna yarning over and you're gonna pull through the first loop the first time. Okay, so we don't usually do that in simple stitch, but we need to this time. So what we have to do is that we have to come to the next available stitch. So this here is part of this one down here. So you've already got it done. So these two strands are where you're going to play into next. So you're gonna yarning over and you're going to slip in behind those two strands and then yarning over and pull through and then move on to the next one. So you can see the pairs of the twos that are all together. So just yarning over, going into the next two and pull through. Go into the next two. So make sure you yarn over before you do that. Now this particular pass, because it's the first time you're really doing this, will look slightly different in the rows above, and I'll show you that when we get there. So just keep on doing it. Usually you ever only go into one of those with simple stitch. For Tunisian half double you go into both. Now remember, for the outside one you're going to yarning over and then you're gonna treat it and go into the outside stitch. Pull through and then you're going to do the return pass, then going in this direction. It's gonna be the same as what you already know. So you're gonna yarning over and pulling through one loop only, so it's a chain one, and now everything is a waltz all the way back. So just yarning over and go 1 2 3 and then 1 2 3 and 1 2 3 1 2 3 and keep doing that all the way back. And you'll end up with 3 left. If you don't have 3, something's wrong. So just pull out and then just retry. So now it's going to look slightly different as we move up the rows. So now all the rest of the rows will look how it is. See how these two are in a pair? That's because we just got started. But the next pair are this one and this one that's trying to run away from this one. You see that? See how it's kind of on an angle? So when you look at it, it's the one straight up and the one trying to run away. And that's the two that you want to play in. So to start the forward pass is that you're going to chain one first and then go into your first pair. Okay, so you're gonna get the one that's straight up. So yarning over first, the one that's straight up, and then the one that's trying to run away and pull through. So yarning over, so it's the one straight up and the one trying to run away. These are not correct terms that I'm teaching you. These are just slang, because you can remember slang a lot easier than technical words. Okay, so just yarning over, get the one straight up and the one trying to run away from it. It's like the stitches are fighting each other, so they don't want to sit right next to each other. So it's straight up and the one trying to run away. And you're gonna do that all the way down. Okay, get this one is your last one here, and then you have your outside edge. So remember, the outside edge you wrap first and then go to the outside and then pull through. And now you're ready for the return pass going in this direction. So we're gonna just yarning over and go through one loop only, and then you're gonna waltz the rest of it. So 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3 and if you're doing it right, there will be 3 loops on the hook at the end. So just pull through all 3 and then you start the forward pass once again. So you still have the one that's trying to run away. Do you see that? So the one straight up and the one trying to run away. So you're gonna always have that now going forward. So to start the forward pass again, it's just going to chain one first and then slip in behind the one that's going straight up and the one trying to run away. Make sure you're yarning over before you do any of that. So I'm just gonna speed up a little bit. This is not a hard stitch, it's just knowing where to look and where to shove your hook. Look and hook rhyme. I really need a life. Okay, so we have this going all the way back across. You'll notice that this particular type of stitch does not curl at the bottom like typical Tunisian would, and I think it's just the nature of the stitch. Okay, and you're gonna pull through, and then you're gonna go through the outside one. So wrap and go through, and then you're gonna do the return pass. So just yarning over, pulling through one loop only, and then waltz your way back. So 1 2 3, 1 2 3, 1 2 3, 1 2 3, and then if it's done right, there should be 3 left. So what I'm gonna do now is that I'm gonna show you how to cast off. So if you're working on the cowl, you're just gonna go the distance that it suggests in the pattern, and then you're just gonna sew the 2 edges together after you've done the cast off, and therefore you would have a completely round cowl. And if this is a practice, this is something new for your particular library of stitches in your mind. And this is what the back looks like. It's got humps and stuff on the back. So it's really quite a beautiful stitch, and I think that you'll enjoy it at the same time. So let's begin to do the cast off process. So you want to keep it the same stitch work that you have so that you don't wreck the look. So you're still going to wrap your hook, and you're still going to use the 2 strands, and you're going to insert into the 2 strands that you know about, and then you're gonna pull through and through and through all the way back so that there's 1 loop on the hook. So just keep moving across the same way. So just going across. So just go into the next 2. So make sure you wrap the hook first. Pull through and through and through. And you're just doing a cast off. So going in, pull through and through and through. And you're gonna do that all the way to the other side. So I'm getting close to the other side, and I'm still just casting off. Don't forget to go into that outside chain, wrap it first, pull through, through and through, and then you're done. So all you're just gonna do is just trim your yarn, and then just take that and then just put it through a darning needle and just weave it in and out, and then you can get that permanently stuck into your project. So this would be how to do the Tunisian half double.